Hey everybody, it is Daniel here for Mobile Syrup, and today I have for you a Google Reader RSS overview for the Android platform, and I have 9 applications here awaiting your and my approval. There are 5 traditional RSS readers on the top here, and then there are 4 kind of hybrid RSS/feature aggregator readers down here, and I will go through each one very briefly. On the top we have the Google Reader. That's the official app from Google. It is very sparse. It does not do any offline synchronization, but it is free and it works very well. Next to it we have Feeder, which is a 99-cent app and does a lot for the price. It supports full screen mode and offline storage. It is a great bargain. Next we have NewsRob. Now this is the grandfather of RSS apps for Android. It's been around since the early days of Android 1.5, and it's known for being one of the more feature-filled apps, and we'll take a look at the free version there. Next we have GReader, another very feature-filled Android RSS reader, and it's got a very nice usable interface. And one of the newer apps on the table is D7 Google Reader, and that's again the free version. Now these 3 all have paid versions, and I will show you them in a future video if I can. On the bottom here, these are all free aggregator apps. We have Pulse News, which has gotten a lot of attention for its layout. We have My 6 Cents, which is a kind of an offline Facebook, Twitter, and Google Reader aggregator, and what it does is it will basically read all of the posts in your different feeds and provide you what it thinks is the most relevant content. TapTwo and Feedly are a couple more in the vein of Pulse. So let's get started on the Google Reader app. You see it's divided into the categories. I have some pretty basic categories here. Each one has a few sites underneath them. You can view by all items if you want, and you can also view by people you follow, and that's basically what some people that I've followed with Google Buzz. Explore, you can explore different feeds that are recommended by various it'll read your current feeds, and it will recommend different feeds based on that. Now you can see as I scroll down, this little bar will come up saying, do you want to mark previous as read? And that's just so that you can make sure that you don't read anything twice. Anything that you want to filter out in the future, stuff that you've already read, you can do that as well. So you can also click the context menu. You can mark all as read. You can only view new items, and that will help you reduce redundancy. So if I mark previous as read and then I go and view only new items, you'll start only from the stuff that you haven't seen before. Now the features in the Google Reader app are a little bit sparse. You can have multiple accounts, and that ties in with your Gmail account on the Android operating system itself. You can actually subscribe to new feeds right within the app, which is a nice feature, and you can do that by different social networks, for example, or you can browse in these little pre-made feed packets or packages. For example, you can click staff picks and it'll come up with a few Google staff packets here, and you can subscribe to them. You can also organize your current categories. So let's just go and I'll show you what some of the feeds look like. So this is the one that I use the most. This is all of my feeds that I look for. You can go individually, so if I look at Ars Technica, for example, it will show all the news in a very easy to read and big font. This is not editable, unfortunately. To look at individual articles, you see that the picture is laid out quite well, and they readjust the text, and everything is quite readable as well. And you can save to Delicious, share on Facebook, Dig, and email right at the bottom, and of course you can link that will take you right into your browser. So that's just a quick overview of the Google Reader Google Reader app. You also have the opportunity to look at your Listen subscriptions, and that ties in with Google Listen, which is another Android app. So you can't go wrong with this. As I said, it's free and it's very usable. However, going to the next one, we have Feeder here. Feeder is a little bit more comprehensive. You can see that you can make these feeds bigger or smaller depending on how you want to look at them. So you open up technology and you have all of the different feeds here. Click on Live Hacker, for example, and you see it shows up over here in a little snippet. Now this is not a good example because they don't show the full feed. Let's go to one that does. Let's go to Mashable. So you see here images show up across the page here. What's nice about this is that you can actually go into a full screen mode, and you have the whole app, the whole screen here to browse, as well as see pictures here. It's very smooth, and this also supports background updating. So you can share right within the app. You can share to different applications. You can use Google Mobilizer, which will load a very low bandwidth version of the website, and you can obviously go right into your browser from there. At the same time, if you click on it here, you get a few options. If I wanted to create a shortcut to joystick right on my desktop, I can do that as well. Options here are quite comprehensive. You can import multiple accounts, or you can export your current account. Settings, there's the option to store the cache on your SD card. You can edit whether you want your notifications to show up over in your notification bar, as well as if you have a notification light, you can set it to blink on and off. You can save to read it later if you want to. That's like an Instapaper alternative. You can set how often you want it to update in the background, and that's goes from 5 minutes all the way to 24 hours. You can set it to Wi-Fi only. You can have data compression on there, update on open. Lots of very, very scalable options here in case you don't want it to use too much of your battery life. One nice thing here, you have a lot of options on how you want to view your articles. You can change between a light and a dark theme. You can change the font size all the way down to 12 title font size as well. You can change unread first, invert your color theme. It's lots of different articles here. You can actually also back up and restore your feed right there. So you can see now it's a lighter feed. Let's go to Mobile Syrup, and you can see everything is much smaller, and obviously you can fit more on the screen. So Feeder at 99 cents is a great bargain. I think it is one of the better applications out there. The layout itself is not very attractive. It's very simplistic, but you can have all of your categories color-coded, and you can also organize your feeds. So if you want, you can move your feeds down, and this will synchronize directly with your Google Reader account as well. Please don't judge me for my various feeds. Everybody's different. So here we have NewsRob. NewsRob, as I said, is the grandfather of all of the Google Reader applications for Android. Now this is the free version, so it's ad supported, and it's got a few features that are not available, but generally you have the ability to sync offline as well. This is a very, very fast reader, and it performs really well. You can also set your synchronization interval, auto synchronization, to Wi-Fi only, and you can also synchronize unread articles only, which is recommended, or all articles. It will synchronize everything in your list every time you download it. You can set it to just download headers, or headers and images, or the simplified web page as well, which will pre-cache, which will allow you to, say, click on an article. Now you see the layout here. There's about 4 articles to a page, but it's very clean and really nice, and you get a little preview on each page. So you can click on that. You see here, what's nice about this is that you click just on the title bar here, and it'll actually load web mode, which is the web page itself. So it says JavaScript for mobile Safari is currently turned off. Turn it on in settings Safari. That's interesting. It thinks that I'm using iOS. So this is the mobile view, and it loads the mobile page here, which is very nice, and you can go right back here. So there's a lot of shortcuts on NewsRob as well. You can mark all as read, for example. Right there you can sort by unread, you can sort by read, you can sort by oldest, you can sort by newest. The layout, it supports up to 2,000 articles, and when you buy the app, let's go back here. When you buy the app in the marketplace, it's a little bit expensive. Now you'll download a license application. It's $5.51 Canadian, and it unlocks a few features, but obviously the free version is very usable, and you may not even need the pro version, so it's up to you. And even the developer recommends that you use the free version first. Now GReader is another alternative, and it's also very attractive, and has a bit more of a list view here. So you can sort by category, I believe, but it I believe it tries to show you everything, and this is kind of like the Reader app for iOS. So you have the ability to add more feeds here, the ability, oh, here it is. So you can sort by feed or by category, and this is nice and fast. They claim to be the fastest RSS app in the market. I don't know if that's true. Let's go to BGR. You see here there's a bit more of a preview, but they don't show the images in line until you actually go to the article. And this is nice. You can scroll left and right between each article using gestures. You can also star it right within the feed itself. You can share it directly, and you can keep as unread or read. You can zoom right here, which is nice, and you can share on Facebook directly. So I like the fact that there's this context menu that will disappear after you've interacted with the article. It's not there all the time, it's only there when you want it. I really like that. And I like GReader. GReader Pro, let's take a look at this. So you can actually save all of the articles if you want to, and you can save up to 100 articles, and in whatever format you want, in a simplified format or in normal without images, etc. That's a nice option. So if we go back, go to settings, you can see you can set synchronization to a custom level every 4 hours. You can synchronize all the articles or as few as 50 of the articles. You can synchronize articles from Google Reader to GReader, so anything you read online will be synced to this device, and anything you read from here will be synced to your Google Reader account. That makes for example, if you don't want to read any articles that you've already read on the computer, you don't have to. You can change the look and feel. For example, there are different themes. I don't have the Pro version, but let's try the blue, and the different article options, auto hide controls, etc. These are all the things that I spoke about. You can make the font smaller. You can tell it to store on the SD card, and you can do an auto cleanup. So for example, any cache that's stored on your SD card will only last 2 days. So you see, these are very advanced options here, and they're great applications for taking your news on the go. So that is GReader. And you see on the desktop now we have that joystick shortcut that was added from Feeder, and that will go directly to that portion of Feeder. Now the last one I have is D7, and this is a nice application. It's kind of simple. It loads your account, and it has your reading list over here in a very nice to read format. So this will actually find what are the most popular articles. This is sorted by time, and if we go into an article, it's not as attractive as some of the other articles, as some of the other apps, but it certainly does the job. And you can go back to the front. You can look at your various categories. So let's go to Android. You can go to the individual feeds here, and here you can scroll through them. You can swipe back and forth. You see it goes to the next article quite quickly. You have this context menu where you can like it, you can share it. You can actually load the mobilized source, which is like in Feeder. It loads the Google mobilized article directly inside the application. So those are a few of the Google Reader apps that are focused just on synchronizing between your Google Reader account and your Android phone. Now the bottom four are a little bit different. For example, Pulse, you can aggregate your Google Reader account, but you don't have to. This is a free app that gets some of their funding from different featured sources. So when you open up the app here, you'll see that there are already quite a few featured sources, and you can scroll through them just like that. Now this used to be a paid app. I bought it when it was a paid app, and it became a free app over all its platforms, I think, except for the iPad, which is still a paid app. And you see, once you load up an article, it will load up on top of the scroll bar at the bottom, and once you interact with it, it will disappear. It's actually a very intuitive app. You click somewhere on the article, and the lower bar reappears, and you can add feeds very easily by going to the settings and deleting whatever you want. So there are 5 pages you see here, and say you want to load your Google Reader on some of the pages, you just interact with your Gmail account. You will have to log in, and once you do that, you can add your individual feeds. Now there are some featured feeds. For example, you can add salon.com. Once you do that, see Wall Street Journal, Los Angeles Times Magazine, you can go back, and now they're added to page 3. And then you go to page 3, and this is preloaded here, and you just scroll through them like this. So this is a really nice way to have a more visual representation of all of your feeds. You see that Skype is about to be bought by Microsoft, and the article view is really nice. You have a few options here. You can lower the font size. You can share it directly on Twitter or Facebook or email. Let's get out of that. And you can also share the story like you can in most other applications. So I really like Pulse, and I think it's got a lot of potential. However, there are a few other apps that are competing with it. My 6sense, unfortunately, I cannot get to work. I'm not sure why. I think they're having some popularity issues and their servers are just down. So that one is not currently working. I really like it though. You actually have to sign up for an account with them, and you will aggregate your Google, Twitter, and Facebook inside of their service, and you log in separately, but it functions very similarly. So give that a try. It's a free application. Now, TapTwo is very similar to Pulse. You see it has these visual representations of your feeds, and at the same time, these are some of my feeds as well as some of theirs, and you can update, share, move, delete them just like that. The UI is actually quite attractive, and let's take a look at the way that the articles look. So this is very similar to most other Google Reader apps once you get into them, and you can view directly in the browser. It'll take you right in there. You can also share. You can slide between feeds just like that. And you can add a bookmark, for example. So not as many features right within here. You can also delete en masse if you want to. You can also add. So there are more featured feeds here. For example, Osama bin Laden news, that's an interesting one. Robo-Savvy Robot Guide, Fast Company, TechCrunch, lots of featured stuff here. You can also add your Google Reader account as well. So you can see I've already added quite a few. And there are also pre-made topics. So you'll never want for content in this app. And I think this is becoming one of the more popular alternatives to a dedicated Google Reader app, because it allows you not only the visual representation, but it allows them to find content for you which you may like. And again, you can rate this app. It'll take you right into the marketplace. So the last one I wanted to show you was Feedly, and Feedly is another example of a hybrid between these really popular visual representation apps. What this will do is it'll give you a featured article from your feed if you want it to, or right now this is Feedly Essentials. So what you can do, this is their list of Feedly Essentials, lots of pre-populated stuff, games, news, sports, etc. You can see it shows you one article on the front, and then you swipe to the right, it'll show you four more. So see, the article view is actually really attractive, and you have this context menu here. You can do lots of what you did in the other applications, mail, copy the URL, which is a nice feature. You can reformat it, which will mobilize it, cut down the bandwidth. You can like it, you can tag it, you can tweet it, you can do whatever you want with it. So you go back. If I wanted to log into my Google Reader as well, I could do that. So personally, I use Feeder the most for my general day-to-day Google Reader needs. It's just it's most flexible of all of them that I've found, even though it's not the most attractive. I can do more with it. I like Pulse for my kind of hybrid, needs, and you can also, customize it to show the web version of the page right there. It supports pinch to zoom. Well, not really, but it supports reformatting right in the app itself. So I use Pulse and I use Feeder the most. However, I've just recently found TapTwo, which I'm actually quite enjoying. And just tonight, I for this feature, I found GReader Pro or GReader, and I am thinking of buying the Pro version because I really like the interface. So that's an overview of some of the Google Reader applications for Android. I'm sure there are many more, and if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments and I will try to get to them in a future video. So if you've stuck with me this long, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And let me know what other apps or other categories of apps you'd like to see me feature in another version of this video, and I will try to get to it. Soon I'll be doing a Twitter application comparison for Android, and that should be coming up in the next couple weeks. Thanks so much for watching, guys.